The Nike High School Game of the Week making its way to the Lone Star State. What a matchup today in Longview, Texas. Lobo Stadium is the Patriots from John Curtis High School out of Louisiana and the Lobos from Longview High School. And what a matchup it will be. Hi, everybody. I'm Randy McElroy alongside Shay Walker. Welcome to the Nike High School Game of the Week. You look at two programs here, Shay, from John Curtis. Storied tradition. Same goes for the Longview Lobos.
Well, Randy, when you talk about John Curtis, you think of state championships because they have been ringing them up on a regular basis there in the state of Louisiana, not only in Class 4A, which they used to be playing up to, now back in 2A, and they're doing the same thing. And in Longview, you look at the deep runs that these guys have made the playoffs, the number of D1 players that they put out on an annual basis. You're right, it's two great programs.
Let's start with John Curtis and their talented offense. So many weapons on the offensive side. Let's talk about their quarterback, Matt Soche.
Well, Matt Soche is the fuse that lights this Patriots offense, Randy. He's got a lot of weapons around him, but he can hurt you with his legs and with his arms. He's a very capable quarterback, makes great decisions, and somebody that they really rely on to keep that offense moving.
On the flip side, you look at Longview, again, many weapons on the offensive side as well. Their quarterback is a senior. You'll hear a lot from number 5, Damien Lewis, today.
Well, Damien Lewis is a senior, getting his third start in this young season for him in his varsity career, but he is another one of those quarterbacks that we talk about that the team relies on. He's got good decision-making skills. He's got great legs, but he's also got a bunch of weapons around him. Mark Johnson and Johnny Garrett are two of those explosive guys in the backfield. So how well can Damien Lewis get the ball out to those weapons and see if that will dictate how well this Longview offense does today.
He needs all of his help to step up. This Curtis defense awfully stingy week in and week out. Should be a great matchup today here in Longview, Texas. It's John Curtis, the Patriots, taking on the home team Lobos from Longview High School here in East Texas. The Nike High School Game of the Week's coming up with the opening kickoff.
The first NASCAR stock car to reach 200 miles per hour. The first minivan. And now, Dodge introduces the industry's first lifetime powertrain warranty. It's the best warranty in the business, and no other car company matches it. So come check out the best lineup of Dodge vehicles ever with our exclusive lifetime warranty. Now, well-qualified buyers can get 0% financing for 72 months on Durango, Dakota, and Grand Caravan.
Fall in love with melty cheese. Taco Bell's new Cheesy Beefy Melt. To get seasoned beef, melty, and even more glorious melty cheese, think outside the bun.
If you could travel like this, for the same price as this, why wouldn't you?
It's the same with auto insurance. With discounts up to 40%, it's possible to get the personal service of a State Farm agent for the same or less than those other guys.
See a Texas State Farm agent for discounts up to 40% on auto insurance.
What up, P?
Yo, I got an idea.
Welcome back to the Nike High School Game of the Week from Longview, Texas. John Curtis and Longview set to kick it off here in a couple of minutes. Right now, down to the field. Let's check in with Layla Rahimi, standing by with the Longview Lobo head coach.
Coach, you guys coming off a bye week last week and a win over your rival Marshall. This is a nationally televised game, a lot of hype, a lot of time to think about this game. What do you tell your kids to prepare?
Well, it's been a tough 15 days. We realized that we were open last week. We tried to improve on things that we were having trouble with. And, you know, we started preparing on the Patriots this week. You know, didn't do it for 2 weeks, just did it for 1 week. So hopefully, you know, we've corrected mistakes and the kids are ready to go.
Playing strong Louisiana teams, nothing new for this program in the pre-district schedule. What is this like again this year?
It's the same old song, just a different verse. You got a good football team coming to town. John Curtis is very physical and nationally ranked, and they're as fine of a football team as you'll play.
Now, what do you guys have to do to win this afternoon?
We got to try to stay on the line of scrimmage. That's where they win a lot of their ball games, is dominating the line of scrimmage, and our guys are going to have to compete and see if we can't win that battle.
Coach King, good luck to you this afternoon. Guys, the name of the game, taking care of the ball at the line of scrimmage for the Longview Lobos.
Layla, thank you very much. We'll be talking with Layla throughout the broadcast today as we get ready for a classic matchup, we hope, Shay, because this has been a lot of fun preparing for this game and learning about the history of John Curtis. When they play football, they have proven over all these years they play winning football.
Well, you take a look. I mean, it's just put up a gargantuan record in number of state championships, and you look at those different divisions, and that really goes to all the classifications in the state of Louisiana. But the point is, regardless of what level, they're playing in the top game every year, or for most years, and certainly hanging a bunch of state championships on the wall.
There's the legendary head coach of Curtis High School. That would be J.T. Curtis, Shay. 37 years he's been in charge of this program. His father opened this school, I believe, back in 1962. He has led this team for 37 years, well over 400 wins in his career. How about that record?
Well, you take a look at it, and again, he's just done a phenomenal job. And you know, he's not the only Curtis involved on that coaching staff. There's a litany of them, and it runs throughout the program, throughout the school and the administration and all of that. So a lot to be proud of as a Curtis family, and certainly the football team brings another source of pride to that family.
I was talking to Coach Curtis earlier this week just about their tradition. He said, hey, the kids coming to the program, they know what we expect out of them. Nothing short of 100% efforts given, and the kids know that walking in. They know what's expected of them.
Well, you know, that's true, Randy. And also, you think back just 2 short years ago, Hurricane Katrina comes through and just devastates not only the Gulf Coast and into Mississippi as well, but certainly this is one of the areas that was hardest hit and most affected by that. So to have your football team and your program kind of galvanizing the community and getting people back on the same page has been a big lift to the spirits of those guys down in the New Orleans area.
Well, we are getting ready for kickoff here at our Nike High School Game of the Week from East Texas, Longview, about 2 hours east of Dallas-Fort Worth. They play some great football here in East Texas and have for many, many years. And today they welcome in one of the powerhouse programs from the state of Louisiana. And of course, that would be the Patriots from John Curtis High School. We're getting ready for kickoff. Zach Medley will kick it off for the Patriots of John Curtis. Zach's a 185-pound junior. He'll share some of the kicking duties with John Curtis today. Back to receive 17, Travis Brown. In Carzeel Martin, number 3. It'll go to Brown at the 15. Finds a quick seam, crosses the 25-yard line. Loose ball, though.
Referee says he was down.
He was down. He was down, and it looks like Longview will take over just over the 25-yard line.
Lobos will start first and 10.
They'll mark it actually at the 27-yard line. The first series for the Longview Lobos. Take a look at the lineups. Of course, we talked about him on the opener. Damien Lewis, the quarterback for the Longview Lobos, his first season on this varsity of running this offense. There are some numbers so far through 2 ball games for Longview. There's his backfield of Garrett and Johnson, Travis Brown, Sean Massey, David Larson, his receivers today on the offensive side. First and 10. Hands it off. Johnny Garrett shakes one tackle, crosses the 50-yard line inside Patriots territory, inside the 40. Big opening play before he's hauled down by Marcus Carlisle of John Curtis.
Well, not only did Garrett get a great block at the point of contact at the line of scrimmage, but take a look at how he runs through these arm tackles. That is a strong young man right there. Randy, as you see him going through arm tackles, he's gone through 3 or 4 or 5 different defenders. One guy missed him twice on that play, lowers his shoulder, takes the ball over midfield, and what a start for the Longview Lobos.
So big gain by Johnny Garrett to the 40-yard line of John Curtis. Lobos looking to move it some more, and they will. Damian Lewis out to his tight end. That's David Larson inside the 35-yard line. Pickup of 7 yards on first down there for Longview. Here's the offensive line for the Lobos. Left tackles Knighton. Left guard Bryce Redmond. Dexter Daphne's your center for Longview. On the right side, guard Blake Bledsoe and right tackle Fred Canada. Anchoring that offensive line for the Longview Lobos, a line John King says has to produce today. 2nd and 2 now. They'll mark it at the 32-yard line. Handoff goes to Mark Johnson.
And he's still moving the ball.
He's moving those legs down to the 20-yard line. of John Curtis before he's brought down by Jonathan Pippen. Defensive line now for John Curtis, the front three. Defensive tackle Mike Henry, nose guards Jeremy Collins and Mike Henry, your defensive tackle. Linebackers Grunts, Carlisle, Stansberry, and Mullins. And the secondary, Lauricella, Porter, P.J. Smith. Keep an eye on him today, along with quarterback Robbie Green. First and 10 now for the Longview Lobos. One back set, Mark Johnson. Snap goes to Lewis, looking for Johnson. Incomplete pass, though. Pressure comes early from the Curtis defense.
Well, nice job just trying to get the ball. But I tell you what, the Lobo offense, Randy's coming out, hitting on all cylinders. We see the two big runs by the guys we talked about, Johnny Garrett, Mark Johnson, but also a nice little dump off to the tight end on a first down pass play. Go back to the pass on the first down, but not able to make the completion there. But really impressive start by Longview.
Well, one thing John King told me earlier this week in preparation for the Curtis defense, he said that they know where they're supposed to be on the field. We've got to do a good job of mixing it up today, keep them off balance as best we can. We'll reset the clock here and go 2nd and 10 right now on the 20-yard line of the Patriots' first drive of the ball game here at Lobo Stadium in Longview, Texas, our Nike High School Game of the Week between Longview and the Patriots from John Curtis. Two-back set behind Lewis. It's Johnson, and then the ball is given to Johnny Garrett out there. Ball comes loose after the hit. Curtis wants the football. We'll see what the officials.
Randy, they've got him marked down. The whistle was blown. He was actually landing back on top. His forward momentum had been stopped as he was coming back, landed on top of another player, and then the ball squirted out. The official was quick to call it. The John Curtis coaches, of course, over there on that sideline are saying they want to fumble, and you can see as he goes down, he lands on top of a guy that's on the ground, and the official coming in promptly to whistle the ball dead.
Loose ball's not what John King wants to see. You can't afford any mistakes against a team like John Curtis and expect to beat a guy like J.T. Curtis, who knows how to win football games. So they'll mark it on the 18-yard line. Third down play coming up here shortly for Longview.
Randy, looking into the game right now, Aaron Johnson, who's the backup quarterback, only a sophomore, but you see him in the game as well, coming out in one of those wide receiver positions.
They'll rotate many guys here out of the backfield, and they'll do 2 or 3 deep in these receiver slots as well and try to keep Patriots off balance. 3rd and 8 now for Longview. Little pressure on Lewis, tries to keep it down to the 15-yard line.
It's going to be close.
Matt Stanberry, inside linebacker for John Curtis, in there on the stop with some help from his teammates as well. This will be close. They needed to get down to the 10-yard line. They're going to be a little bit short here. It's going to be 4th and probably 1 here to go.
Well, we talked about Damien Lewis being able to use his legs and arm as he was coming down the line. Randy, excuse me. He looks down the field and he makes the cut inside. He got a nice block on the seal on that bootleg, and he makes the cut up the field, and he's close to picking up the first down.
Mark it on the 11-yard line. They need to get to the 10-yard line. 4th and short here for Longview, and they will go for it. Johnson and Garrett behind him on the 2-back set. John Curtis clapping their hands. They know it's going against it's a dead ball foul.
Offense.
On Longview. A little movement there on that left side by Chris Knight in the left tackle for the Lobos, and they'll move it back.
Well, let's see if that changes the complexity. It'll certainly change the play call, Randy, but you know, when you come back, oh, nope, you see the field goal unit now coming on the field.
Yeah, Zach Decker, the field goal kicker, place kicker for the Longview Lobos, will mark it on the 22-yard line.
Look out for that holder. Number 5, Damien Lewis.
Damien Lewis will hold. 32-yard effort here from Zach Decker. Kick is up, and the kick is good. So Longview takes advantage of their first series of this ball game. They get points on the board. It's a 3-0 lead here at Lobo Stadium in Longview. We're back on the Nike High School Game of the Week.
Academy Sports and Outdoors has it all. All the right stuff for sports, outdoor fun, hanging out, and looking great. Sports equipment, athletic and casual shoes, sports and casual wear for the whole family at low prices every day. Nike, New Balance, Under Armour, Reebok, Shimano, Remington, and more. Great selection, cool new styles, top brands, and low prices at Academy Sports and Outdoors.
The right stuff, the low price. Academy.
I am sentencing you to 3 months house arrest.
When all you have is a window, there's no telling what you'll see.
I know what I saw, but no one believes me.
You're not the only one who's watching.
Welcome to Disturbia, rated PG-13.
This is a medical alert. Did you or a loved one take the drug Baycol, which was removed from the market in 2001 by the drug company Bayer? Were you later diagnosed with rhabdomyolysis, kidney failure, muscle-related problems, or other severe complications? Were you hospitalized as a result? Did your doctor take you off Baycol due to complications? If so, you may be entitled to money damages. Settlements are being paid now.
Call 800-305-1347 for a free case evaluation. 800-305-1347 now.
Where Southwest fans go first. FSN Southwest.
This week, College Football Saturday returns with a triple header in high definition. First, Texas Tech takes on Oklahoma State, followed by Rice looking to upset the 6th-ranked Texas Longhorns. Then UCLA takes on the Washington Huskies in an early season Pac-10 showdown. It all begins later today with College Football Saturday kickoff show presented by Kyocera at 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific, right here on FSN. Let's take a look at our Nike scoring drive for Longview. They go 7 plays, 52 yards, 2:36 off the clock. Pick up a field goal to get this football game off and running in East Texas. A kick by Zach Decker goes out of bounds. And they'll move it back.
Off and running. That sounds like that Longview first series. Well, I mean, he saw some really big runs there.
Take a look at the lineups for the John Curtis Patriots. Of course, the quarterback we spoke highly of, Matt Soche, last week, 4 of 8 for 108 yards. That's the deal. He's not going to throw the football a lot. This is a run-oriented offense here. The rest of the offense, the backfield, Kane and LeBlanc. You'll hear a lot from them today. Receivers, Allen and 2 others as well, along with Jesse Dana. Offensive line, Camel, Conradi, Munch. He's a 3-year starter, along with Alonzo and Grubbs. The offensive line, John Curtis. 3-0 ball game here early in the first quarter. Longview, Texas. The Lobos leading John Curtis 3-0 after an impressive opening drive.
They're going to do
Looks like they're going to re-kick this thing after reconsidering. They'll make Zach Decker tee it up again.
He's going to tee it up, and he's going to tee it up from a little further back after the walk-off.
Longview coming off ball games with Marshall and Lufkin, 2 rivals here in East Texas, to get this season off and going.
Yeah, talking to Coach King earlier in the week too, Randy. You know, they're going to have to tee it up with Lufkin again here in a couple of weeks because of the way that the schedule has worked out for this Longview team. Is that they lost a game that they had scheduled with another team from Louisiana. That fell through, so they had to schedule a game. And boy, you talk about going through the meat grinder.
Was that a coin flip?
Yeah,
they don't want Lufkin twice, do they?
No, man. I mean, John Outlaw and that program, Lufkin, of course, is just a stellar program in the state of Texas and certainly in this area.
Right.
Man, to have those guys twice in a 3-week period is that's saying a lot about the confidence that Coach King has in this team.
They played well against Lufkin in that first matchup, so maybe a rematch is something they may want. So they will re-kick it here again. They'll mark it at the 35-yard line. Zach Decker with the honors, number 42 for Longview. Back to receive for John Curtis. Number 28, Robbie Green. Number 17, Alex Loricella. And number 4, Jonathan McKnight. Short kick. Curtis receives at their 30-yard line by number 32, Chris Gillott. Short return just over the 35, and they'll mark it at the 38-yard line, and that's where John Curtis will take over. Let's take a look at the defensive lineup now for Longview. The defensive line, 3-man front, Anderson, Smith, and Woolridge. They need a big day. Your linebacker in core, Solomon, Moon, Ford, and Drew Harden. Secondary, Martin, Morrow, Ritt, and Dontre Nelson, the other cornerback for Longview. They'll mark it on the 38-yard line. Oh, my. Soche with the quick handoff there to Kenny Kane. Great movement there for
Jazz Reeves. Looks like, Randy, he came crashing through early.
Jazz Reeves right across the line for the big stop, and this defensive line needs to have the game of their life today. Look how quick Reeves gets in there,
You're talking about he's coming across, and he is hammering a good tailback, but this Longview team is absolutely fired up and playing with a high level of energy.
It's a split back veer offense. They've been running this for many, many years at John Curtis. Another handoff there to John Kane. They just grind away, grind away, grind away. Another term would be the Houston veer that Bill Yeoman ran for many years there at U of H.
Well, and very patient and know the program. I mean, you talk about John Curtis High School down in that New Orleans area. Randy, these guys go K to 12. So from the 6th grade on, they're running and executing this offense, and that's why they've become so proficient at doing it.
Jonathan McKnight in the ball game, number 4 at receiver. Soche with the keeper crossing the 40-yard line down to the 44. Where he's brought down there by John Ritt. Cody Morrow also in to help for Longview.
We need to run the punt team out. Here we go. I was going to say that offense took a little time to get off the field. It's 3rd and about 4.5 yards to go. On your own side of the 50, you definitely got to punt the football.
Cody Mullins back to punt for John Curtis. Tarziel Martin back to receive for Longview. 44-yard line. Mullins gets the punt off.
Oh, good kick.
Very good kick. And down there to snag it right there would be Jonathan McKnight. He's one of their fastest guys on their team, and he was down there in a hurry. And they'll mark it down inside the 5-yard line. That's where Longview will take over for their 2nd ball game of the year. Another look at that. Look how quick McKnight got down there. Great special teams work by the sophomore.
Well, you see him getting down there. The momentum carries him in, but look, he turns around, and he's only a sophomore, and he turns right around and points down to where he actually took possession of the football. Fortunately gets the call and for John Curtis, and that backs the Lobos up on their own 4-yard line.
A nice start for the Longview Lobo defense. They'll take over here for the 2nd time in the ball game. Damien Lewis in their quarterback. Behind him, Mark Johnson and Johnny Garrett. They'll hand it to Garrett right there, crossing the 5 near the 10-yard line. Stopped by linebacker Matt Stansberry of Curtis.
Stansberry and Brendan.
Well, Randy, you go back to that Lobo offensive line, and you can't be anything but impressed with the way that they're coming off the ball. Daphne Bledsoe did a nice job right there, and Bryce Redmond, one of the guys that we're talking about, only a sophomore, and talking to some of the coaching staff around here, they said, man, this guy's got nothing but upside written all over him, and they're doing a nice job up front at the point of attack against a good John Curtis defense.
2nd down and 4 after a 6-yard pickup. Handoff there to Mark Johnson, short yardage, the fullback. Andrew Tucker and Jeremy Collins helping with the stop there for the Patriots. 3rd down and 4 coming up now for Longview. One of these things about two teams that, for the most part, run the football. The clock, they just work that clock a little bit and wait for the proper seam and then make a big play out of it. 3rd down and 2 now on the 12-yard line. Johnny Garrett with the big hole on that left side. Crosses the 30, 35 down to the 36-yard line before Robbie Green caught up with him for John Curtis to make that grab. Another big run for Johnny Garrett, his 2nd of the ball game.
Well, we saw the first run that he had where he ran through a bunch of arm tackles. Here he just pops through the hole and turns on the jets, and looks like he's going to get away from Robbie Green, doing a nice job there of saving a touchdown saving tackle. But boy, that offensive line, I'm going to go back. Those seams and creases are there at the point of attack, and these Longview Lobo backs are absolutely taking advantage of it.
Johnny Garrett will get a breather. Shotgun there for Lewis. Hands to Johnson on the end around to Aaron Johnson. The sophomore picks up a few to the 40-yard line. P.J. Smith, the free safety in there to make the stop for John Curtis. P.J. Smith's a story, too. We're going to hear his name a lot today, Shay. Number 13 for John Curtis. This kid is 6'4", 205 pounds. 6'4" free safety.
Yeah, he's a
good
big
speed too,
and a big-time player as well. And you know, he's one of those guys. He's a stay-at-home guy because there's a little bit of trickery right there by Longview to run the toss pitch and then try to get it back on the reverse side. But P.J. Smith is having none of that.
Johnny Garrett and Johnson in the backfield. Lewis hands to Johnson there. Nice hold on the right side. Good blocking by the right guard, Blake Bledsoe. Marcus Carlisle in there to help. So is Jonathan Pippin for the stop for John Curtis after a big gain for Longview. No problem so far in the first two series, Shade. Finding the holes and getting some yardage here. They're finding a weakness possibly in this Curtis defense.
Well, they're doing a great job, Randy, of executing the offense, and you see they've come at it from a couple of different sets and formations, and so far everything they've dialed up is working.
First attempt to 49. Get another handoff. Lewis to Johnson. Brought down by John White of Curtis. Lobos working that run game. Flag on the play here. Looks like could be holding on Longview, and it is. Holding call the center, Dexter Daphne. For Longview, they'll bump it back. Fumbles and penalties, something John King will not tolerate any week, especially against a team like John Curtis. You just can't make mistakes and get away with it when you play the Patriots.
And you think about, too, Randy, what Longview is doing. They're coming off of an open week. So, they've had a little bit of rest, and, they didn't seem to be too rusty on that first drive, and certainly so far in this drive, starting on their own 4-yard line, having a lot of success.
Lewis out back to pass, finds his tight end for the second time today. That would be David Larson. Gets it back to the original line of scrimmage at the 49-yard line before he's brought down by quarterback Robbie Green. John Curtis working his tight end awfully well early here, Shay.
Well, you got Damien Lewis doing a nice job of not only fielding that snap, but just taking a look out, taking what the defense is giving him. He's got his big tight end running out in the flat, knows that he's got room to turn it up and pick up positive yards. So about a 7 or 8 yard pass play, turns it up to pick up another 2 or 3 yards, and now you're knocking on the door at the 2nd and 10. Not too bad after the penalty.
Fake handoff there to Garrett. Lewis keeps, picks up a couple possibly. Alex Gruntz, one of the linebackers, number 87 in there to make one of the stops there for John Curtis.
Marcus Carlisle in on that one as well. There's another penalty flag.
We have a sideline warning against John Curtis.
Okay.
Sideline warning on John Curtis. Is that when the coaches cross the line just a little bit?
Oh, just a fair amount of intensity over there on that John Curtis side. So no yardage marked off, but that was, again, a nice job by Marcus Carlisle, the linebacker, because that was a play where you saw the running back, Johnny Garrett, come through and fake the handoff, but then he became the lead blocker through the whole. Damien Lewis followed him, and it looked like he had something going, but that defense caved down on him, forcing the 3rd and 5.
Two-back set for Longview here. 3rd and 6. Lewis looking right there for Deron Goodwin. Nearly had it, had his hands on it, couldn't hold it. It's outstretched just by a few inches there, and that'll force Longview to punt the football away to John Curtis. Again, they cross it into Curtis territory and can't get it any further. But again, they're moving the football. That's something John King likes to see.
Well, and starting on your own 4-yard line and getting it across midfield on a series, you've got to consider that a successful drive, even though they weren't able to convert there on 3rd down.
Zach Decker back to punt for Longview.
Going to come back and win the battle of field position.
Robbie Green and Jonathan McKnight back. Very nice punt. Fair catch by Jonathan McKnight. Called for the fair catch. Can't do that and run with it. I know he's a sophomore.
He's a sophomore. Give him a break. Oh, look at, he's giving the referee, I was blocking the sun. No. The hand was way above the helmet.
I saw it
waving.
I saw the arm waving.
You bet.
Yeah. Lesson learned. But a good try. A very good try.
I tell you, this is the 2nd time we've seen him become a little animated with the officials, though, in a good way, in a positive way. When he was catching that punt going into the end zone, he was able to stop down and point down. So,
taking a short break. First quarter, 3:38 left. Longview with a 3-0 lead over John Curtis. The Nike High School Game of the Week coming right back.
LA Galaxy, Sunday on FSN Southwest.
Back live at Lobo Stadium in Longview, Texas. During the break, we missed one play. It was a 3-yard carry for John Curtis. So we'll pick it up here. 2nd and 7 from the 9-yard line. Second series of the ball game for Matt Saucier and his Patriot offense from John Curtis High School. Shay.
Well, we're getting a little bit of confusion here, and the officials are now trying to get this thing back in order. But while we were away on commercial break, the referees let the game go, and as you said, we had the one play there. But now that they're realizing that this is a commercial break, both teams get a chance to get a little refresher, drink of water, and kind of get things re-teed up.
A Longview awfully good start. If you're John King, you've got to be happy. You maybe wish that second drive could have punched it in, but they'll take the field goal. They'll take the points early.
Well, no doubt. And you think about the second drive, it was an impressive way of coming out of your own goal line and winning the battle of field position.
Let's go down to the field, check in with Layla Rahimi with Lobo's strength coach. Layla.
Guys, this is Jason Little. He's the Longview Lobo strength and conditioning coach. And coach, on a day like this where you've got humidity, it's a day kickoff, what does that do for your team?
Well, one thing, it prepares us to play in the heat. And, you know, we have such a good summer turnouts. You know, we're practicing during the day, you know, with our strength and conditioning that we have during the summer. So we feel like the more we can get out during the day, knowing that we're going to have a game, you know, like we have today, that we're going to benefit from that.
Now, what is a typical training and strength regimen for these guys once football season starts?
Well, what we try to do with our freshmen is we put them through an all-season during their season, just like our JV players. We're going to lift 3 days a week, and then with our varsity guys, we're going to lift 2 days a week. So it's something that we feel like we build on each year.
Now, how do you control for the humidity out here this afternoon?
You really can't control the humidity. What you have to do is, you know, make sure you have a good summer workout regimen, and the kids understand that.
Thank you very much, Coach. Guys, don't let him fool you. Coach Little just competed in a state masters bodybuilding competition. Little, not exactly the case here.
Yeah, he looks like it. He's in great shape. I don't think we want to mess with him, Layla. Thank you very much. 3rd and 7 coming up. Actually, 3rd and short coming up for John Curtis after that short pickup from quarterback Matt Saucier. And they'll mark it there at the 18-yard line. 3rd and 3 coming up, Shay.
Randy, we're early in the ball game, but this is a big 3rd down for John Curtis because, again, we talk about the battle of field position. They are backed up to their own end zone, and they desperately need to pick up a 1st down and make sure that their defense can get a little bit more rest. Not going to happen either. That Longview defensive front is up to the task.
They're reading this veer awfully well early. Kenny Kane, not much after that handoff.
But DeCoris Ford did a nice job of coming in. He's one of those guys that Coach Little likes in that strength training program. The guy squats about 440 pounds. Talking to him earlier in the week, he's talking about how proud he was of all these guys.
Yeah.
You see a guy like Jason Little throwing out all these stats and these numbers, and they become mind-boggling.
Texas getting close to start the second half here. Marching bands, Longview, and of course the Patriot marching band. They made the trip from the New Orleans area, putting on their performance here for a pretty good crowd here at Longview Lobos Stadium. 10-7 Lobos with the lead, coming back out of the locker room. Sure, they got an inspired speech from head coach John King Shea, as did the Patriots, I'm sure, from J.T. Curtis.
I bet so. And you think about this, Randy, about what a really nice facility that we're sitting in and having the opportunity to broadcast the game from. But
it really is.
You look at the way that everything is set up here and the way that the locker rooms are. I mean, this is a fantastic facility. We're talking to one of our techs in, and they're talking about, hey, you know what? This was the hallmark 30 years ago when they built this.
Right. Field turf is down now. They made that transition. Field turf, the surface of choice for many programs, both on the high school and collegiate levels now. It's just it's perfect in all weather conditions, and a lot of school districts and universities are going that direction. They've got a great facility here, and the surface top-notch. Lobos coming back out. They're ready to start the second half. Their side of the stadium pretty full here. View of the grass on the end zones. Really impressed with the group John Curtis brought us. So we're talking about a 6.5 hour drive they felt, and many of these folks left at 3:30 this morning to make the trip to be here for kickoff. 11 a.m. kickoff here this morning. Let's go down back to the field, check in with Layla Rahimi. Layla.
Guys, I talked to Coach John King of the Longview Lobos right before his team got back on the field. He said with a 10-7 lead, he wants to keep the momentum going. Told his team the defense was playing well, the offense was playing well, except for mental mistakes, penalties, and holding on to the ball. He wanted to make sure his team did that here in the second half.
All right, Layla, appreciate that. Waiting for John Curtis, the rest of their club, to come on out, and they are making their way out as we speak as Matt Soche greets his opponent there at midfield as they talk about how to get this second half underway, and we will do that momentarily. Our Nike High School Game of the Week. We're just talk a lot about John Curtis, and a great interview there at the half, Shay, with the principal of John Curtis High School. You know, JT's father, John Curtis, opened the school. It was a dream of his to open a school there in the New Orleans area, John Curtis Christian School, in 1962. Now it's going strong many, many years later. Several of the Curtises on the staff, too, I might add. His son's on the staff. There's 3 or 4 Curtises if you look at the coaching roster for the Patriots. It's a family affair in this football program and throughout their school.
Yep, in the staff and the administration. Something that they're extremely proud of. And really, you talk about, Randy, we're going back to the Hurricane Katrina thing, and it did devastate this community as well. And to see this family kind of re-energize and get themselves together and kind of collectively get their thoughts back on the same page and try to rebound from that tragedy. Right. The consistent theme through that was the football program. And it's, you know, often a metaphor that we use a lot, but, you know, sport is bonding in a community and really for life, and you think about the types of things and the trauma that these guys went through individually as coaches, administrators, families, players, etc. You know, for the Patriots to come back on and play the dominant level that they've been expected to play at, it's just been a tremendous sign for this community.
I had the chance to read a little bit of the book this week when it was sent to me and from their publishers, and I appreciate that. And if you have a chance to pick up this book, Hurricane Season, I encourage you to do it. The first couple of chapters is what I got through before I had to make the trip here. And, it kind of walks you through step by step on what they went through. They'd come off a victory. And there's the shot of the book right there, Hurricane Season. They'd come off a victory, a 19-0 win on a Friday in late August, and most coaches would take a 19-0 win. JT Curtis wasn't happy with that victory. He said it was too sloppy. He got him back out for full practice the next day, Saturday, and it turns out that would be the last time that JT Curtis and his Patriots as a group would see one another for a long time, some of which they haven't seen since then. And they regrouped and finished the season. I think they lost 5 games that year, but tremendous book. If you have a chance to pick it up, please do so. We were just talking about some of the Curtises on the staff. Of course, JT Curtis, the legendary head coach. Jeff Curtis also on the staff, along with Matt, Steve, and Preston Curtis. Johnny Curtis, you look through this list, there's Curtises peppered all throughout it as well. They're on his assistant coaching staff here for the Patriots. So we're set to start the second half here at Lobo Stadium. Longview will kick it off. Zach Decker work for the Lobos, and back to receive. 5-yard line is Jonathan McKnight for John Curtis. Get this second half underway. Should be a great second half. Longview on top, 10-7. John Curtis in the white with red pants today. Of course, Longview in green. McKnight fields at the 5-yard line. Follows his blocker up the middle, a couple of big holes. Crossing the 30, 35, down to the 37, 38-yard line. So John Curtis will start off the second half with good field position after that stop by Longview senior Cody Morrow. Here's a look at the replay.
Nice job, McKnight, being a little bit patient and then turning on the jets when you break that first level. Cody Morrow saves a touchdown there by bringing him down, but as you said, good field position, and this is the best starting field position that we have seen the Patriots operate under to start a drive in the whole game.
I would think this is a critical drive, although it's the first one of the second half, where the Longview defense really needs to make a statement. Soche with the keep, round right end. Good pursuit there by the Lobos defense. Maybe picks up one. Garziel Martin in there on the stop. DeCoris Ford helping him out as well as Soche went nowhere around that right side.
Again, kind of the same message there, but you see DeCoris Ford, big number 91, coming in, horse collar Soche. And you wonder how much of that a quarterback can take, but certainly running this offense, he is used to getting those types of hits, but certainly don't want to take him that close to the line of scrimmage.
That's a pickup of 2 now from the 39. Soche hands off to Kenny Kane. Up the middle. DeCoris Ford again on the stop for the Lobos. 3rd and long coming up now for John Curtis. And John Curtis won't sway from their philosophy. Soche threw the ball only 4 times in that first half. Whether they're up or down, they're going to stick to this veer offense. That is why they have won so many football games over the years. Soche in the hand to Blake LeBlanc, crossing the 45. See where they mark it here. If they get a favorable mark.
He's got a first down.
He's got a first down, it looks like. Jasmine Moon in there on the stop for Longview. They'll mark it there at the 49-yard line, just enough to move those chains. First down coming up now for John Curtis.
And probably just the talking to that he said, look, let's get some continuity on offense. Let's get back to doing what it is that we do. And we've seen 3 consecutive plays picking up a first down, but certainly the kind of consistent offense that John Curtis is used to executing.
Soche on the keep, crossing the 45 into Lobo territory. 9 yards, maybe enough for another first down. We'll see who they mark. Just short of the first down marker, so let's give him 9 on that carry for Matt Soche. John Ritt, the stop there for Longview. So again, they're grinding it out. This is John Curtis football, the way they draw it up. Stick to the ground game, eat up clock time. John Curtis lost much of their offense from a year ago. The only returner is Brian Munch, the center, who they really like. He's the leader on this offense, but most of these guys have been in the program and continue to step up. They know what their job is. On the stop there of Kenny Kane, Drew Harden.
Pretty efficient
for Longview.
Pretty efficient on the second down conversion there, but that's 2 quick first downs by the Patriot offense, and that's got to be a confidence builder for those guys.
All right, so they'll mark it at the 40-yard line. 1st and 10 now for John Curtis. They start the second half. Quick handoff there. It's Blake LeBlanc again. Jasmine Moon again in there on the stop for Longview. Her name Jasmine Moon, one of the weak side linebackers for Longview, number 7. He was a starter on offense last year. Shea was actually their running back and had over 1,000 yards on the ground. But they said, hey, John King said, hey, we need you on this defensive side this year. We may give you a few touches on the offense, but we need you on that defensive side this year. Second down and 7 play. Short yardage.
DeCoris Ford getting in there again at pad level. This is the first time that we have seen the John Curtis offense really, Randy, since they've started this drive. They've had decent first down plays. Now they're in about a 3rd and 4. So the first 2 plays of the series have not gotten them actually where they were. But big 3rd down here, and you hear the Longview faithful. They're standing on their feet now, trying to exhort that defense to get them a stop.
They need a stop right here. Chris Gillott was in the backfield on that last play, brought it in from the tight end position. 3rd and 4 now from the 34-yard line. They need to get to that 30. And it's Blake LeBlanc. He'll get that and a few extra yards while he's at it near the 25-yard line. So another first down for John Curtis. DeCoris Ford again with the stop for Longview.
Well, pretty well defended, but big Ray Grubbs, that 6'4", 305 frame, is coming out of that right tackle, and he is pushing down, and he is sealing off that inside pursuit that we saw in the first half, penetrating and getting down. Well, they're not doing it now as Ray Grubbs is coming in off that offensive tackle position and giving that running lane to LeBlanc.
Loose ball right there on the play. Looks like they'll mark it down. I think Soche jumped on it and Drew Harden in there on the hit.
Well, Drew Harden did a nice job. We talked about him so much in the first half. Listed as a safety, but playing up close to the line of scrimmage. Take a look here as he comes right into your living room. Doing a fantastic job of getting that right hand out and knocking it away from Soche. And fortunately for the Patriot offense, they're able to cover the football.
Soche with the favorable bounce right there and gets it back. They lose a few yards. That back to the 30-yard line. They lose 3 yards. So it's 2nd and 13 coming up Jonathan McKnight and Chris Gillott in the backfield for John Curtis. The ball goes to McKnight. Jasmine Moon in there on the stop, leading the charge there for that Lobo defense, along with some help from John Rich. McKnight fights his way between the 26 and 25-yard line, so it's 3rd down and 8. Another big play coming up for this Lobos defense. They need a big stop.
P.J. Smith, back in the ball game, split out wide to the left here.
Handoff goes to Blaine LeBlanc again. There he is, number 34 for John Curtis. Marcus Sparks and Karis Ford again on the stop. Tough 4th down again.
Indecision time. You see Coach Curtis, he does not want to kick.
4th and 4 for the Patriots.
He's sitting in his offense. Got Lance Ham bringing the play in.
Had the option going with Zach Medley to kick a field goal, but he says, I'm going to go for it on the road and see what I can come up with. And these Lobo fans are up, wanting a stop on 4th and 4 from the 21-yard line. Fake to Blake LeBlanc, and Matt Soche keeps it big-time yards on the right side, inside the 10 and the 5-yard line. Jasmine Moon got that right hand on him and brought him down just as he crossed the 5-yard line.
Soche a little slow getting up, but the ball handling and the play fake that he executes here, what we talked about at the beginning of the football game, he is such a smart player. You see how he makes Randy that hand fake, the ball fake, and he just hides the ball, and then as soon as he turns the corner, there's no dancing. He's going. He knows it's 4th down. Smart guy, understands that, picks up big 1st down.
So 1st and goal now for John Curtis. Opening drive, eating up major clock time from the 4-yard line. Kenny Kane with the handoff, breaks 2 tackles, spins, and makes his way to the end zone for a John Curtis Patriot touchdown.
Kenny Kane, you talk about tough running. We've been talking about these Longview backs, but there's a very tough run by Kenny Kane. He's only a junior, but he's about 6 foot, 205. And he's one of those guys that are going to play both offense and defense for John Curtis. But take a look here as he takes the handoff. Gets hit 3 or 4 yards sharp, but he does not stop those legs, spins around, falls into the end zone for the touchdown.
Classic John Curtis drive here, Shea. Almost 7 minutes off the clock. Sticking to the ground game. This is how they've drawn up, don't they?
And for the first time in this ball game, Randy, we have seen John Curtis get big chunks of yardage on their plays.
Stone Spear with the point after for John Curtis. It's up and it is good. And just like that, to open the second half, John Curtis has come out with a bang. Long drive, eating up plenty of clock, and they now lead Longview 14-10. 5:35 left in quarter number 3 in Longview.
Yo, I got an idea.
Layla Rahimi here in Longview, Texas, as you can see, joined by the Gregg County Sheriff's Department mounted deputies. Score here, of course, 14-10, John Curtis, but joined now by Bob Jeter, the lieutenant of the Gregg County deputies. And this is quite a unit you guys have here at the game.
Yes, we're established in the mid-'70s by Captain Buck Jordan. Right now, Sheriff Maxie Serliano is the sheriff of Gregg County and very supportive and rides a good bit with us now. Roger Kaiser is our captain and does a great job organizing. We work a lot of events here in Longview and in the Gregg County area.
Keeping the peace equine style. We'll take it back to action here in Longview.
Layla, thank you very much. Sporting that nice little cowboy hat there, Shay. Going to work. She finds all the angles here at a football game.
When you learn that's a good look for her.
14-10, John Curtis with the lead. They start the second half with a touchdown, a long drive, and they have regained the lead here in Longview. And they'll kick it back off to the Lobos. 5:35 left here in quarter number 3.
Randy, it'll be interesting to see if Longview can come out with that same bit of momentum that they had going into the half. As you said, a long drive taking off just over 6 minutes of play clock, but certainly Longview went into the half at the pop. Let's see if they can regain it.
Travis Brown and Joseph Patillo back to receive for the Lobos. Travis Brown, actually Carziel Martin actually with the receiving end there for the Longview Lobos. With the return, Jordan Hanbury and Jonathan Pippin there on the stop. And Longview will take over and begin their first series of the second half from the 23-yard line. John King should have been pretty happy with what he saw in the first half. Couple of missed opportunities, but that late first half touchdown really gave them some momentum into the locker room. See if they can carry it over here in the offensively, at least here in the second half. Damien Lewis to Mark Johnson. Big story there in the first half. Johnson getting it done on the ground and through the air in that first half. Gets the first carry here in the second half. Brought down by Walker Ashburn for John Curtis.
Yeah, Walker Ashburn, only a sophomore. When you talk about a school like John Curtis, who only has maybe 300 kids in their school from 9th to 12th grade.
How many play football? Yeah. Probably a good number.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. But then you
bring a load today.
Yeah, you start leaning on some of these sophomores early on and talk about valuable game experience.
Right. Lewis to Johnny Garrett. Again, big hole for Garrett. Gets through the linebacking area to the secondary. P.J. Smith and Brandon Porter bring him down after a big gain. But he'll pick up the first down there.
Johnny Garrett's a 4.40 guy, and taking a look at it, he hits the hole. He does it with purpose. Well, Randy, looking at this scoring drive, boy, you know, the thing that jumps out at you is, too, that you see the 13 plays, but then also the time.
Yeah.
Time of possession.
Almost 7 minutes off the clock. Incredible. Johnson with the carry. Handoff from Damien Lewis. Matt Stansberry, inside linebacker, brings him down as he crosses the 40-yard line down to the 42-yard line. And Longview sticking with the run game as well. Getting some big yardage here on their first drive of the second half. And that clock just winds down. Now under 5 minutes already left in this third quarter, Chad.
And we're only seeing Longview's first offensive possession, their third offensive play. But I like the way that they're staying on schedule, and that offensive line for Longview is continuing to create seams and opportunities for these explosive backs to hit.
Second down and 3 from the 42-yard line. Damien Lewis with the shuffle pass to Mark Johnson. Good coverage there. Good pursuit by the Patriots defensive line. Alex Grunt's in there to help, along with Jeremy Collins and Jonathan Pippin. And again, we've been saying Pippin's name quite a bit. Number 44 all over, flying around that football today.
You know, coming out of that middle linebacker position, he's going to have to take responsibility. And that was a little bit of another misdirection or trick play, if you will, by Longview as they start to go out to the left. Damien Lewis looks like he's going to run the option with Johnny Garrett, but then he hits the shovel pass inside to Mark Johnson. But Patriot defense up to the task.
All right, 3rd and 4. Looking for the long ball. Damien Lewis to Travis Brown, and yes, he brings it in, gets that foot in bounds inside the 35-yard line. Shay, good job of keeping the hands on it and getting that foot in bounds.
Well, you talk about a real confidence builder too for Damien Lewis. He steps out, he sees he's got man-to-man coverage, and Brown just takes off. We talk about it, he is a burner, a 4.36 guy. snags the football. No replay in high school. Good effort. Gets the first down.
Damien Lewis and Travis Brown hooking up several times today. Good connection as the drive continues from the 33-yard line now. Lewis with the handoff to, that's Mark Johnson. Good pursuit from John Curtis. P.J. Smith in there. Pippen again. Marcus Carlisle. 3 or 4 Patriots in there to make the stop.
Well, Randy, Mark Johnson is doing yeoman-like work between the tackles. I mean, you really see him take those first down carries, and these aren't 2- and 3-yard gains. I mean, and he's running in between the tackles. He's getting stacked up by 3, 4, sometimes 5 defenders, but he is not going down. You talk about a bull in a china closet. I mean, he has absolutely got a lot of trunk power and driving.
Johnson again up the middle. Making 3 people miss on that one play alone as he fights his way down to the 15, possibly 14-yard line.
He's still standing.
He keeps those legs moving right now. 4 Patriots couldn't bring him down. John White attempting to lead the charge there for John Curtis. We'll see what the flag's about.
That's impressive strength, but also take a look at the open field move. He makes Jonathan McKnight freeze and miss. He's got no way of catching, but that's a nice open field cut and move, but then the lower body strength and the power to keep the pile moving ahead of him, and then there will be a penalty assessed on this play against John Curtis.
It's a personal foul call. Let's listen in.
Personal foul, unsportsmanlike conduct on the defense, half the distance, automatic first down.
Randy, that penalty is because we're talking about Mark Johnson not going down, so you saw the 4 and 5 defenders hold him up. Defender got a little bit extra torque there. Gets called for the penalty.
We'll move it down to the 7-yard line. You talk about Johnson, Shea, and talking to John King this week. He says, hey, he's only 5'7", 185, but he's a big play back, and he makes people miss. And he uses that speed, and he's proving it today. Lewis with the handoff to Johnny Garrett. Marcus Carlisle, good hustle, good pursuit there to make the stop for the Patriots. Garrett fights his way down to the 5-yard line, pickup of 6 yards here. 2nd and 4 coming up. 2nd and goal. Travis Brown on the far side, number 17. Behind Lewis, Mark Johnson and Johnny Garrett. Johnson gets the call, follows the blocking of his offensive line, motors on it for a touchdown for Longview.
Well, you just had a feeling where that pile was going to go once Mark Johnson got the ball on the 4-yard line, because he goes right up the back of his offensive lineman, and they do a nice job of keeping their feet. Bryce Redmond, Dexter Daphne, and Blake Bledsoe doing a good job of creating what this is what you call surge. You see the green shirts underneath the white shirts and that pile moving, and of course you got big strong Mark Johnson behind that, help push that pile, and no way to keep him out of the end zone.
Zach Decker for the point after. It is up and it is good. So Longview answers John Curtis's touchdown with one of their own. They lead at 17-14.
The first NASCAR stock car to reach 200 miles per hour. The first minivan. And now, Dodge introduces the industry's first lifetime powertrain warranty. It's the best warranty in the business, and no other car company matches it. So come check out the best lineup of Dodge vehicles ever with our exclusive lifetime warranty. Now, well-qualified buyers can get 0% financing for 72 months on Durango, Dakota, and Grand Caravan.
There's a moment at night when all you want is fourth meal. Melty, crunchy, spicy, and grilled.
Today's Nike High School Game of the Week brought to you by NikeFootball.com. Leave nothing. Here's your Nike scoring drive for Longview. Fairly impressive there following John Curtis's opening touchdown of the second half. Lobos Shea go 9 plays, 77 yards. Eat up nearly 4 minutes of clock time, followed by what John Curtis did. That's why this third quarter's almost over with.
Well, Randy, you talk about an answer. We were wondering, will Longview be able to come out after having John Curtis drive the ball down, take up over 6 minutes of clock, will they be able to keep that in the first half momentum that they had on that last drive? And I think they certainly answered that question.
They answered the bell for sure as they regain the lead 17-14, so they will kick it away now. Zach Decker will. And back to receive will be number 4, Jonathan McKnight, the super sophomore for the Patriots football program. Got a big future ahead of him on the high school level. We'll be hearing his name quite a bit here the next 2 to 3 years on the national scene. Short kick. John Curtis' knee goes down right there before the 35-yard line, so that's what will take over. See where they mark it. It was Kenny Kane that fielded that kickoff, and he slipped and fell, got the knee down, so they'll mark it down, and they'll start the drive on the 33-yard line.
Decent field position.
Yeah, not too bad. 1:49 left here in the third quarter for John Curtis to take it over here offensively. Curtis has 2 receivers, Vincent Allen and Jesse Dana on the near side. Behind him are Kenny Kane and Blake LeBlanc. Matt Soche fakes the handoff to LeBlanc. He'll keep, but Lobo's right there to swarm after a pickup of 3 yards. Andre Nelson helping out the cause there, along with Skylar McCray.
Kind of going back to the well again. You see Matt Soche, he likes going down to that right side behind Ray Grubbs, George Alonzo. 2 guys getting some good effective seal blocks and cutting off that penetration.
Yeah, the offensive line not extremely big for John Curtis, but that right side is. You see Alonzo's 300 pounds and Grubbs is 305. I think I'd follow them too. What do you think? Handoff there. Kenny Kane crossing the 40-yard line, tripped up by Jasmine Moon of Longview. We'll mark it at the 41-yard line, still shy of the first down by 2 yards. So 3rd and 2 coming up. Another big play for this Lobos defense, Jeff.
Well, and P.J. Smith, every time they have a big play coming up, he comes into the offense as a wide receiver. And, you know, he's the kind of guy that can go for the home run ball. They had him earlier in the ball game, not able to make the connection, but he is back in.
They'll give it to LeBlanc. Well, he's a tough runner. He really is. He grinds it out to the 45-yard line. They will move the chains. First down.
And 5-10.
Dominic Morgan there with the stop for Longview.
Yeah, well, you look at the size difference there. John Curtis, very big on the front. Longview not so big. And again, that's what we heard Coach John King, head coach of Longview, talking about. He said, hey, can we stay on the ball? And I tell you what, I've been really impressed with the speed and the desire and the heart that Longview defensive front 4 has played.
This will be the last play of the third quarter. Handoff to Blake LeBlanc again, maybe 1 yard down to the 47-yard line before Roderick Anderson brings him down for Longview, and that's going to wind down quarter number 3. A very quick third quarter here at Lobo Stadium in Longview. Both teams answer with touchdowns. Right now, Longview heads to the fourth quarter with a 3-point.
It can happen anytime, anywhere, to anyone.
Really?
You can save money on car insurance anytime.
I called at 3 a.m.
There's nothing to it.
New customers saved an average of $339 last year.
Got a house and car discount.
And we saved even more.
They saved me a lot of money. Good, because you owe me $20.
It's easy. Just call a State Farm agent's office 24/7.
Like a good neighbor?
State Farm is there.
For young driver discounts up to 40%. See a Texas State Farm agent.
New Diet Pepsi Max with ginseng and more caffeine.
This week on Fox NFL Sunday, America's #1 pregame show gets you ready for kickoff. Then, Big Ben leads the Steelers against Frank Gore and the Niners. Followed by the Giants taking on Clinton Portis and the Redskins. It's another slate of great NFL action this week on Fox NFL Sunday.
We are back at Lobo Stadium in Longview, Texas. East Texas showdown today between Longview High School and John Curtis, the Patriots out of the New Orleans, Louisiana area. 17-14 as we start the fourth quarter. You talk a lot about recruiting, especially in the state of Texas, Shay, and East Texas, no doubt it's a hotbed. I mean, look at this stat. One Division I recruit for every 15,227 households. That's the fourth highest area ratio in the state of Texas.
Well, and you think about the teams that come out of here, Tatum in 2A, they've been dominant. Gilmer 3A, Kilgore in 4A, and then, of course, the Tyler schools in Class 5A, along with Longview, making a lot of noise.
Probably the most recent state champion on the 5A level. Soche with the deep ball to Vincent Allen, and he hauls it in, beats the coverage. The big play John Curtis was looking for, and they find it down to the Lobos 15-yard line, Shay.
Randy, the second time that we have seen this play happen, you see the play goes down to the right. Soche very alertly stops that play fake, keeps it down, and his wide receiver just absolutely runs by untouched by the defender, and then really a nice play by Dontre Nelson coming over the top to keep that ball from going into the end zone.
Held on to the football. Big-time coverage, or yardage right there for the John Curtis offense, and they are creeping along here, making their way to the end zone. Blaine LeBlanc with the carry for the Panthers before he's brought down by Carziel Martin. So again, big plays on both sides so far in the second half. A very quick third quarter. Longview and John Curtis with touchdowns, and the Patriots threatening again here in the early in the fourth quarter.
Well, that big play certainly helped, and we had seen kind of a grinded out, clock-consuming Patriots offense until this drive.
Yep.
You hit the big play, and now you get back down and stick to your knitting and knocking on the door one more time.
Blaine LeBlanc and Kenny Kane behind Matt Soche. Soche hands to LeBlanc, and he makes his way into the end zone for the 5-yard line. 5-yard touchdown for the Patriots, and they quickly strike to open this fourth quarter just like that.
Well, and right on the heels of Brian Munch did Blaine LeBlanc find his way into the end zone, and you see him getting a lot of attaboys there from the play. But does a really nice job of just kind of hiding that little frame behind the big offensive lineman. Offensive lineman's on the defender like Velcro, driving him into the zone, and LeBlanc follows him in. It's a nice touchdown by the senior.
Stone Spear in for the point after coming up for John Curtis. He tries to push it to a 4-point lead here in the fourth quarter at Lobo Stadium in Longview. Snap is good, and the kick is blocked.
They've been close on a few.
Carziel Martin with the honors right there. And could that block come back and pay dividends for Longview to keep this a 3-point game?
That's great hustle by Carziel Martin coming off the corner. He's been laying out, Randy. We've seen it on several of those. And take a look. He's going to come in off the top of your screen there. Just gets such a great jump, and that's what it takes. It takes a great jump and a great line of attack. He has it, and it gets that right hand on the football. Fantastic effort.
Big play coming up right there for the Longview Lobos to keep it a 3-point game with 11:05 left here in the fourth quarter.
When you talk about a third quarter, and we're talking about how fast it went by.
Yeah. Long drive.
Longview had the ball for one series in the third quarter. One series, and then John Curtis had it for one series and 4 plays. You see in the scoring drive here, they do it in probably what we would call a record amount of time for the Patriots. But that long pass play certainly helped down to Vincent Allen. And, you know, that's another guy we've been talking about all the speed on Longview's side of the football. Vincent Allen has a 4-4 burner. Got down behind the secondary and set his team up in position to take the go-ahead score.
Zach Medley will kick it off for John Curtis. 11:05 left here in the fourth quarter. Back to receive for Longview. Number 3, Carziel Martin, who just had that big play blocking that extra point, along with number 21, Anthony Adams. He's back there for the first time today. The ball will go to Carziel Martin at the 5-yard line. Finds a seam. Brought down there by Matt Stansberry, number 42. Good tackle right there to keep Martin from going another 15 yards or so.
Yeah, it certainly let Martin. He may have gone 15 or more, and Stansbury kind of did a nice job and really caught him low and around the waist and almost swung him back around because the momentum that Martin had going upfield was pretty severe. Matt Stansbury, he's a great story. A junior, only 5'10", 205 pounds, but talk about what he does for this team, what he means for the team. He's a 4.0 GPA.
It's done in the classroom.
Yeah, it's a great story.
So we'll see what Longview does here, see if they can answer once again. John Curtis had that first touchdown of the second half. Longview came back with one of their own. John Curtis opens the fourth quarter with another strike, another touchdown, and it's Longview's shot again, their first series of this fourth quarter. 10:58 left here in the final frame. John Curtis right now on top by 3. Mark it on the 20. Mark Johnson with the carry down to the 25-yard line.
Randy, I'm talking about tough sledding. He looked like he was stopped just 1 or 2 yards beyond the line of scrimmage, but there is no give up in those legs of Mark Johnson. He drives over, piles over, and picks up another 3 yards after it looked like he was just stonewall stopped. Jonathan pick up big yards on first down.
Jonathan Pippen in there on the stop for John Curtis. Pick up a 5, so it's second down and 5 now for the Lobos from the 25-yard line. Lewis again hands to Mark Johnson. This time he's going nowhere. It's Pippen again on the stop.
Pippen on the stop. Big Mike Henry, defensive end, is in there. And another guy, we're talking about height, size, and all that, big number 90, 6'5". He got that frame down and kept the pads lower than the offensive lineman that time. Was able to stop Johnson for a no gain, which is a pretty tough feat to do. A nice job right there by Mike Henry.
And the underclassmen getting some major experience with John Curtis' team. They rotate him every year. They lose some great athletes. Our guys have to step up. Lewis looking, throw the ball, couldn't find any receiver. Gets loose, picks up a couple for Marcus Carlisle. Makes the stop right there, along with some help.
They had Collins, defensive nose tackle down around the ankles as well.
Yep.
That was a nice job by the secondary for John Curtis because there was nobody open. You could see Damien Lewis looking downfield, trying to find an open receiver, not able to do it. And then the front 7 stayed at home and was able to keep him short of the first down. Big stop by John Curtis.
So Longview will kick it away. Zach Decker with the honors for the Lobos, waiting to receive this punt. Robbie Green and Jonathan McKnight back for John Curtis. Little fake right there to the
up back. Not going to get it.
John Curtis did not bite once at all. Connor Mullins, I believe, in there on the stop for John Curtis to make that. Longview trying a little trickery right there. It could be costly here in the fourth quarter. Some play like that.
Drew Harden, the up back. He took the direct snap, and John Curtis looked like they were ready for it. Punter tried to show it went over his head, but really a nice job up front by the defenders, and Marcus Carlisle really was the guy that came in, Randy, and stopped that play from going for a first down. So now here's John Curtis knocking on the door with excellent field position.
They will pick it up on the 28-yard line, and here we go. Kenny Kane around the right side. Brought down by DeCoris Ford.
Well, Kenny Kane is a big back.
He really is.
You see him, and he's listed
6 foot, 205.
Yeah, but boy, you look at him, and he just looks so much bigger. He's 6 foot, but boy, he's got a nice stride to him and good elongated stride, but he also runs hard.
He was a linebacker in 2006, one of those moves that J.T. Curtis decided to make here in the offseason. Now remember that backfield for the Patriots. There's some momentum now for John Curtis as they try to eat more clock time up. Far side, Lance Ham, I should say. Hand off to Blaine LeBlanc, our target, Kenny Kane with the carry there for John Curtis.
Kane on the carry.
Dominic Morgan there with the stop for Longview. Again, they'll just grind it out here and then hopefully punch it in for 6 more, get some points out of it. 2nd and 7 coming up now at the 15-yard line of the Lobos.
This field position and having a lead certainly plays into the hands of the John Curtis offensive philosophy. As you said, Randy, they like to grind it out and just really make you test and see if you will make a mistake.
Associate hands to Blaine LeBlanc, grinds his way down to the just inside the 15-yard line. Marcus Sparks there for the stop for Longview. Here's another look at it.
Really just nothing but tough running in there. You can't tackle the football. You got to bring the guy down, and LeBlanc keeping those shoulders down. Forward lean.
Brings up third short now for John Curtis. 3rd and 2 from the 10-yard line. Need to reach the 8 to keep this drive alive.
Lobo defense. This is a big play for them as well.
Oh boy, you bet. Kenny Kane hit quickly by the Lobo defense, and that ball pops out, but John Curtis jumps back on it. I believe it was Kane who actually recovered that football. Big hit there by a couple of the Lobos on a 3rd and 2 play. Marcus Sparks, the lead man there for Longview.
Talking about getting penetration and coming down and absolutely blowing a play up. Marcus Sparks does that. Gets a little help from his friends up front as well. Markeith Woolridge on the play. But that was a tremendous 3rd down defensive stand by the Lobos. And of course, John Curtis with Soche back under center, seeing if they can convert on 4th and about 4.5, 5 yards.
So from the 13, they need to get to the 8 on 4th and 5. Soche hands Kenny Kane, and look at the Lobo defense swarm right there. This could be the play they were waiting on. Drew Harden and company making the big stop on Kenny Kane.
Jazz Reed's getting back there as well, but when we talk about Drew Harden and how close he's played to the line of scrimmage, doing a nice job in the pad level, in the speed to get up the field and not be blocked off the football. Tremendous job by the Lobos and a great defensive stand. And now that they've got that pop back, a little bit of momentum, they've what do we got, 6.5 minutes left in this ball game, so plenty of time for them to drive down and see if they can not only tie the ball game up but take the lead.
They'll start the drive now. Longview will on their 14-yard line. Damien Lewis, Johnny Garrett crossing the 25. Marcus Carlisle with the stop, along with some help from Alex Loricella for John Curtis. Great job of the offensive line opening up the crease here.
Well, not only that, but a nice job of Johnny Garrett following his blockers and letting those guard and tackle pull, get in front of him and kind of match up on the defenders, and he was patient enough to let that happen. Then he turns on the Jets, picking up the 1st down.
10 carries, 97 yards on the day for Johnny Garrett, averaging nearly 10 yards a tote. Mark Johnson with the touch right there. Carlisle again in there on the stop, number 55 for John Curtis. They'll mark it at the 27-yard line. Second down coming up for Longview. Clock winding down, 5:45 and counting here in the final and 4th quarter of action at Lobo Stadium, and what a ball game it's been today. Lewis again, handoff to Johnson. Whole group of Patriots in there on the stop there.
Big Mike Henry, that big 6'5" body that we've been talking about. He gets in low, and then Pippen comes over the top.
They can swarm. Alex Grunt's also in there to help for John Curtis. So what's John King thinking right now with about 5 minutes left in the 4th quarter? Keep grinding it out on the ground and see if you can move the chains some more and eat up clock?
Nah, I don't think he's worried about eating up clock, Randy. I think he's worried about getting a 1st down right now, being about 3rd and 8, but certainly the run game has been productive. Stick with it.
Lewis looking, decides to keep it. Smart move. Big yardage right there, crossing the 40-yard line before he's brought down by Brandon Porter and Alex Loricella for the Patriots. Plenty for the 1st down for Longview.
Well, we mentioned Damien Lewis, a senior, but only his 1st season as a starter on the varsity level. How about those open field moves that because that 1st move that he made, Randy, he was going to be short of the 1st down. The 2nd move that he makes gets him over the top, but what a nice job of him picking up the 1st down.
Nice move to shake the tackle from Matt Stansberry there. Johnny Garrett with the carry to the 42-yard line. Jonathan Pippen again.
Pippen.
He is all over the place. Again, Pippen, the transfer from Georgia, making a name for himself already in this John Curtis program.
Lucky that he held on. That would have pulled my shoulder right out of socket. The way that he hit Mark Johnson, the power that Mark Johnson was running with, and just kind of didn't get a clean lick on him, but got enough to bring him down. That was an impressive play.
Good size by Pippen. He's 6'1", 220. Lewis on the keeper again. Big hole up the middle. Takes advantage of it to the 50. Brandon Porter and P.J. Smith with the stop for John Curtis.
A design run.
First down.
Yep, design run. You see Pippen. He's running all the way. But look at, how about his big fullback right here?
Knocking him
Mark
over.
Johnson going in. He's getting a second shot now on Pippen.
He might be the player of the game today so far. Rushing yards on the ground. Look at the numbers here for Longview, already over 200 yards, Jay.
And it's just been a very dominant performance by him. And again, when we talk about it, and they're still trailing by 3 points in the ball game, but when you talk about long, exciting, explosive type runs, this Longview offense has been clicking.
Second sideline warning against John Curtis.
Another sideline warning against John Curtis.
Is that 1 per half? Kind of like a mulligan. That's you and your mulligan.
So define the sideline warning. 1 per 9, is that what it is? The sideline warning basically stay behind the line. Is that what you're talking about? Mark Johnson with the carry. Again, 42. Matt Stansberry. P.J. Smith in there on the stop. A little help from Alex Gruntz as well. Again, another tough run by Mark Johnson.
Randy, as an offensive lineman, I would tell you that when you see your running back run like Mark Johnson is running, and he's running into the guys that you're blocking, and they're making a good play on the defensive side, but he continues to churn and push and run through those. As an offensive lineman, man, that absolutely fires you up.
Makes you want to work. That's right. They're doing a great job today on this run game for Garrett and Mark Johnson, who are putting in big-time yards here. Lewis again fakes to Johnson, tries to keep, but picked up a couple of yards, crosses the 45 to maybe the 43-yard line. They might give him 2 yards on that pickup. Rami Collins on the stop for the Patriots. 3-minute mark here in the 4th quarter. Longview trailing by 3. Decisive drive for all practical purposes for Longview. This late in the game, they've got to get something out of this.
Big 3rd down for Copeland squad.
3rd and 4 for the Lobos. They need to get the 39-yard line. Johnny Garrett. Great job by the O-line to open it up. P.J. Smith, Brandon Porter slow him down, but not before the change move for another Longview first down.
Well, and running over that left side with big number 56, Bryce Redmond. You hear a lot of talk about this guy. Only a sophomore, but how about the blocking at the point of attack? And then again, downhill speed running with power. Big guys from Longview up front get it done.
1st and 10 now from the 33-yard line. 2.5 to play here in the 4th quarter. Lewis keeps not going anywhere. Let's see who's in on the tackle there. Looks like John White helped the cause. A little help from Marcus Carlisle.
Now, with under 2 minutes in the game, Randy, you start wondering what kind of range do you have out of your field goal kicker. We saw a field goal early for the first score by Longview going in this direction, but you got to believe they've got to get a little bit closer if they're going to try that. But
Lewis out pass there to his tight end, his split end, Sean Massey. Overthrows him, stops the clock with 1:41 left. And now looking at 3rd and long. 3rd and 9 for Longview. They need to get down to the 23-yard line for the first down.
When Aaron Johnson coming into the game, as we talked about, he is also the backup quarterback coming into play some wide receiver. Big, athletic, good-looking guy in terms of quarterback in the future for the Longview team.
Travis Brown in for Longview. Sean Massey near side. Sprint left. 2 back set. 1 back set. Mark Johnson next to Damien Lewis. They'll call a timeout here. Take it over. And we will break as well. 1:41 left in quarter number 4 for Nike High School Game of the Week. Longview down by 3.
Get to the Texas Truck Stop Clearance. A great time to get great deals. And now the best warranty in the business. A lifetime Powertrain limited warranty on virtually every new vehicle in stock. Save big on the Hemi-powered Ram 1500 or Dodge Durango, both with available fuel-saving MDS. And Dodge Dakota with V6 or available V8 power. Get 0% financing for 60 months or up to $6,000 cash allowance, plus the lifetime Powertrain limited warranty. Grab life at your Texas Dodge dealer or log on to TexasTruckStop.com.
Important notice if you were born between 1922 and 1962. Find out how you can protect your loved ones with the Platinum Care Plan. Did you know the average funeral now costs over $6,000? And your survivors may only be able to receive government death benefits up to $300 if they qualify, leaving your loved ones to pay the balance. You must be age 45 to 85 to qualify. No physical examination is necessary, and coverage starts as soon as you're accepted. The Platinum Care Plan is a way for you to help protect your loved ones at a time they'll need it most. To get free information about the Platinum Care Plan and its benefits,
call 1-800-646-0990.
You have no obligation, so call now.
Where Southwest stands out first. FSN Southwest.
20-17 late in the fourth quarter, our Nike game of the week. John Curtis leading this thing by 3, minute 41 to go. Here's the game summary, Shay. John Curtis 20-17 for Longview. Johnny Garrett, big day, 108 yards along with Mark Johnson. Blaine LeBlanc for John Curtis, 66 on the ground with that one touchdown. And then off the turnovers, John Curtis has taken advantage. And that first half interception return by Alec Forcella that put John Curtis up at the time, 7-3. Right now, 20-17 lead for J.T. Curtis and his Patriots. Minute 41 left in the fourth, and a very big 3rd and 9 play coming up right now for the Lobos. Snap, Damien Lewis looking over the middle, and he's going to find Aaron Johnston. And Johnson takes his way down the hauls him down. Big yardage for Longview to keep this drive alive. What a call by John King.
It was a great call by John King, and I love the patience of Damien Lewis. He let that play develop. He saw big Aaron Johnson, the inside receiver. Hey, we talk about him. Johnson is going to be the starting quarterback here next year.
Right.
Only a sophomore this year.
But get him out there in big conditions. That's right.
Yeah, but he is a kind of the breakaway player, man. And you saw right there making a huge conversion. That was just unbelievable. Damien Lewis doing such a nice job of getting that ball out there where he can catch it and then make positive drives.
So clock running, minute 21 and counting here in the fourth. Ball goes to Johnny Garrett, shakes a tackle, and he's in. 7-yard touchdown that puts the Lobos back on top.
How about that? You go from dire outlook at 3rd and 9.5, and in 2 plays, you're in the end zone. Nice job by Johnny Garrett, showing a little bit of lower body leg strength. You're not going to arm tackle this guy, and that's P.J. Smith is no slouch back there.
No, not at all. He just bounces right off P.J. Smith, and by then, no Patriot was going to find him. You had Massey right there ready to block, and the Lobos are back on top. It was up and good by Zach Decker. And with a minute 15 to go in this fourth quarter, Longview has responded once again. They've been trading touchdowns in the second half. Right now, the edge to Longview, 24-20. What does John Curtis have left in this final minute 15? That's the question.
Well, you know they're explosive in their return game, and they got Jonathan McKnight back there. It seems like we're talking an awfully lot about the 2 sophomores, but they've made the plays to make us talk about them. And you know, you've got a home run hitter back there with Jonathan McKnight. You get the ball, get some blocking, and we've seen them return the ball to get in good position all second half.
How about this scoring drive when it counts? 13 plays, 86 yards in a pivotal fourth quarter stretch, 5:10 off the clock, Shay, and then the 8-yard touchdown by Johnny Garrett to cap it off.
But Randy, Longview has responded all second half. After Longview had scored, after John Curtis had scored, they've done it. Now they've done it again at the most important, crucial time of the ball game.
Let's go down to the field, check in with Layla.
Guys, the emotion here on the sideline, electric. 2 words being uttered by the Longview Lobos right now. Let's and go. And Coach King not celebrating, moving everybody back off of the sideline, making sure they don't get another one of those famous sideline warning calls, just trying to keep control of the game.
Thank you, Layla, for that update. That's got to fire him up. It's up to the defense now. Special teams first here on the kickoff. And then the defense is going to have to step up. Jonathan McKnight back to receive for John Curtis. Also back Robbie Green and Blaine LeBlanc around the 20-yard line in case it's a short kick from Zach Decker.
I mean, we have seen Decker. He's trying to top the ball and get a lot of top spin and hops on it. He's been doing it all game to see if he does it again, except on this one. He drills it all the way down the middle.
McKnight from the end zone is going to bring it out anyway. Big hole up the middle. And then he's hauled down by Drew Harden.
Hold your breath for just a moment.
Yeah. You want. This week, College Football Saturday returns with a triple header in high definition. First, Texas Tech takes on Oklahoma State, followed by Rice looking to upset number 6 Texas. Then UCLA takes on Washington Huskies in an early season packed-in showdown. It all begins later today with College Football Saturday kickoff show presented by Kyocera at 3 p.m. Eastern, noon Pacific, right here on FFC. 1:06 left in the 4th quarter. It's coming down to this drive. Will the Lobo defense step up, or will John Curtis push it in? Flag is down on the play. We'll see if there was movement on that offensive line. And yes, there was movement, and they'll push it back. Longview's defense signaling to the crowd to get into it.
And we've seen, Randy, we have seen Matt Sauché throw the long ball very well so far in his ball game. He doesn't do it a lot, but when he has needed to do it, he has.
He's picked his parts of this game to make that big play, and he's done that. P.J. Smith, I'll be curious to see if he's out in this lineup on the field right now. Seems like when they need a big catch, P.J. Smith is out on the field in that lineup. Right now, he is not. Right now, it's Jesse Dana, Vincent Allen, and Lance Ham, receivers for John Curtis. First and 15 from the 23, Sauché. Out to Lance Ham, the senior, 5'10", 170.
Caught the ball, though, and on the sideline, on the boundary.
Didn't get out of bounds.
Did not go out of bounds, and the knee touches P.J. Smith now in the ball game.
They'll mark it up the 30-yard line. Picked up 7 on that. 2nd and 8 now. Sauché over the middle. Nearly picked off by not 1, but 2 Lobos. Dontre Nelson right there, and so was John Ritt. Both of them got a hand on it.
Sauché trying to thread the needle. Looking for LeBlanc as an inside receiver coming down. You see he just locks on to him. Goes it down. It's a little bit over the top of the head, but 2 Longview defenders, man. He's tipped the ball around, but not able to get enough air underneath it for one of them to catch it, but it is 3rd and 8.
John Ritt with his right hand on that football to knock it down. Stops the clock with 47 seconds left. 3rd and 8 now for John Curtis. And the handoff goes to Kenny Kane. But the defensive line led by Cordero Solomon makes the stop for Longview. And they are fired up out there right now, Shane.
Well, Cordero Solomon came off of that outside linebacker position, and he absolutely threaded Kenny Kane. Hit him so hard he drove Kane back towards the line of scrimmage, and Kane fell forward for positive yards. But take a look here, coming off your screen right here. Boy, as soon as Kane touches the football, and really give Kenny Kane a lot of credit for being able to hang on to the football and fall forward. But Cordero Solomon dialed in, makes a huge play for his Lobo defense.
Lobos run this 4-2-5 defense. It allows not only obviously the D-line to get it done, but they use their linebackers and secondary awfully well to come in and really crowd that middle. And of course the rover, Cordero Solomon, right there to take care of business for Longview. 35 seconds left. Timeout for John Curtis to think this one over. What's going through their mind right now, Shay, on a 4th and 5 play with the game on the line?
But you know that they got playmakers, Randy. We've been talking about that. Sauché obviously capable of doing it, in LeBlanc and Jonathan McKnight. But then you've also got to consider going back out and looking at P.J. Smith and looking to this senior to make a play. And he is back in the ball game here at the top of your screen.
Jesse Dana, Vincent Allen near side. 2 more far side. Curtis doesn't throw the ball often, but they might need a big pass from Sauché right here. And they won't. They'll hand it off to Blaine LeBlanc. The Lobo defense will make the big stop and take over possession. They went with their bread and butter, the run game, and it backfired. And Longview makes the stop. Marquise Sparks leading the stop right there. A whole slew of Lobos in there to make the stop on that play, and they will take over with 30 seconds left, nursing a 4-point lead, Shane.
How about Sparks coming off the block? He had an offensive lineman basically just glued to him. He's able to fight that off and bring down a strong running back short of the first down. Get a little substitution penalty here, as Longview is heading into their victory.
On the offense, 5 yards, remains first down.
In their victory formation.
So assuming they hold on and no more mistakes and they get this win, what does it mean for a program like Longview who, hey, they've got a winning tradition. John Curtis gets the headlines for what they've done on the national level, but this is a huge win for the Longview program as they inch closer to district play.
There's no question about it. And from a mentality standpoint and what these guys, how they feel about themselves and their ability to play in a big game on television against a big-time opponent and coming out, and they have played a heck of a ball game. And I'm going to tell you, you look back at the stats, and they won't necessarily show this, but Longview has had tremendous offensive plays. We talk about the big plays in the run game and the pass game and how well Mark Johnson, Johnny Garrett, and how they've stepped up and made plays in that defense for Longview. We're giving a lot of accolades out to the offense, but hey, that defense has played a heck of a game. It's
really
an
has.
Undersized, speed, aggressive defense against a big offensive line, and they have done a tremendous job of really pretty much stalemating, if you will, for most of the ball game, a very explosive John Curtis offense.
Well, John King told me earlier this week, and I'm sure he told you the same thing, Shay, that if our front seven defensively does not play, it's going to be a long day. When that front seven showed up.
And talking to Coach King down on the field before the game, Randy, it was pretty interesting to hear him say, he goes, I don't think they're ready for as quick as we're going to be. And he just felt really confident that his defense would be able to get in and do what they need to get done, and they certainly did that today.
John King, 35-5 as head coach, 4th season, and he will look like he'll get another win number 36. Been around the Longview program for about 8 years, head coach for the last 4 years. Keeps the winning tradition alive and well here in Longview.
Well, as a quarterback, Damien Lewis, he's had some good ground gains on the day, so he certainly doesn't mind taking a 3 or 4 yard knock on those as he's taking the customary pose of the victory dance.
We talked a lot on the offensive side, not only Mark Johnson, but Johnny Garrett as well, Shay. Just a big afternoon for him.
And how he started the game. I mean, here's a young man, he squats 525 pounds, so there's not going to be an arm tackle that's going to bring him down. And you see him running through some very good defenders, not able to square up on him and bring him down. He's just got so much power. And Randy, the way that he leans, he's got 12 carries for 116 yards, but that forward lean as he's going through the line of scrimmage is just nothing short of impressive.
Damien Lewis takes the knee. No timeout left for John Curtis. And that will do it as John King gets the Gatorade bath at the 50-yard line. Time will run out, and Longview, the Lobos, extend their home winning streak to 14 games. And they walk away with a victory over the Patriots from John Curtis this afternoon, 24-20. Once again, that is our final from Lobo Stadium. Longview 20, John Curtis 24.